this Thanksgiving, while a lot of us are celebrating with family and possibly slipping into a turkey coma, millions of others are planning, strategizing, and preparing for the biggest shopping day of the year, Black Friday. Welcome to 12 News Tonight on KJAC. I'm Brandi Smith. Vanessa is off tonight. Dozens of people spent their Thanksgiving afternoon camping outside stores, just trying to guarantee they're going to get the best deal on some big ticket items. And 12 News reporter Jackie Massey is actually inside Target in Beaumont, where shoppers have been scurrying through the aisles trying to find the best deal. Jackie, how's it looking in there?
All right. Yes, Brandi. Yes, been really busy here in Target. I'm here with Raquel.
So Jackie is live inside Walmart, or Target, I should say. Busy there today. Are you doing any Black Friday shopping? It's not something I've ever been into. The only time I've ever been out for Black Friday is when I was covering it for the news. But if you're going out, what is your strategy? Like, do you have a game plan? Which stores you're going to hit when? What are you looking for? What do you go for? Apparently we talked to people earlier today who were just going to go. Didn't really have a plan. Didn't know what they were looking for, which is crazy talk to me. Absolute crazy talk.
And they cooperated, and it was amazing. Y'all should check it out. It was cool.
Yeah, as you can tell, she's really excited. We're probably going to post that mannequin challenge later tonight on our website, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. So, reporting at Target with all my new friends, and it's just a cart load full of stuff. I'm Jackie, 12 News.
All right, thanks, Jackie. A lot of stores are open now, not just Target. A 12 News viewer sent us these pictures from the Woodville Walmart, which opened at 6 tonight. Quite a few stores, though, are letting employees spend the holiday with their families. Reporter Lana Zach breaks down the battle of Thanksgiving traditions.
More than 137 million Americans are expected to shop this weekend, hoping to snatch up the best toys for all ages. And retailers around the country are trying to lure those consumers inside, like this Best Buy shopper who pitched a tent to get the best deals on.
Some TVs, probably like a few of them, a few tablets.
Happy Thanksgiving, Patrick.
A few computers.
Macy's, the world's largest department store, is
all right. Happy Thanksgiving, Andrew. Happy Thanksgiving, Kim.
Sales only to the shoppers who show
wow, Tony's at the casino. He put in $20, won $800. Well done.
After the plates are cleared.
Sherry made mashed potatoes and country gravy. You're my girl, Sherry. Tony says mashed taters. Sherry doesn't do Black Friday. Sherry, you're talking about Jackie asking if she gets hazard pay. She should out there in the crowd.
But some stores are doing the opposite, staying closed for Thanksgiving. Barnes & Noble, Costco, Nordstrom, Dillard's, and Sam's Club giving this Thanksgiving holiday to their employees and their families.
Now, if you don't want to hit the stores, you can be like me and hit the keyboard. Many online stores are actually beefing up their sales, offering Cyber Monday deals today so you can stay home and shop. That's how I like to do it. But Patrick, if people are planning on going out later tonight, it sounds like they should probably pack a jacket along with it.
Yes, precisely. The deal is though, it depends on how long you're going to be out. If you're going to be out just for a few hours, you may need a light jacket, but after about midnight, it's probably going to transition to a coat. Let's take a look. We're at 57 at 9 p.m. We're down to 54 at midnight. If you're still out, there are stores open at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yep. All night, Patrick. They're crazy people, I tell you.
That is loony, and that's my commentary tonight. That's for the birds, but if you're going to be up at 6 a.m. in the morning at a store shopping, you probably need a coat, about 49, 50 degrees. We're at 60 by 9 a.m., and we're going to talk about, well, a fantastic weekend forecast, a historic storm, and a stormy Monday coming up in just a few minutes.
We'll look forward to that. Thank you, Patrick. Well, it's time for a new Thanksgiving tradition for some Southeast Texas families, high school football practice. P&G fans brought lawn chairs to the sidelines this morning as the Indians prepare for their Friday night game against College Station. Then over at the Thomas Center in Beaumont, Westbrook also enjoyed an upbeat practice as the team preps for Spring Westfield in the 3rd round on Saturday. Both teams had to report to the fields at 9 this morning, something the Bruins and Indians haven't had a chance to enjoy in recent years.
I don't think anybody else can have 1,000 people at practice on Thanksgiving morning, but the PNG Indians can. And yeah, absolutely. It's our way of giving back, letting the fans come out to practice.
It's wonderful, man. I'd rather be doing this than anything else. Forget the turkey and stuff. Football, this way is it. Pigskin, that's what I'm eating today.
12 News reporter Lance Edwards spent the morning at both practices. He says all the players are honored, and you could hear they're pumped up that they still have a chance to win a state championship. Of course, there is nothing like high school football playoffs in the state of Texas. All right, another Thanksgiving tradition in Beaumont, the annual Turkey Trot. About 2,000 people raced in the 26th annual run at the event center downtown. A lot of families took part in the 10K, 5K, and the Kids Gotta Run 1K. So we talked to some runners who say this is the best way to kick off the holiday.
I'm trying to be a little bit healthier this year, so I thought I'd try to start a new tradition.
It's a great time and something to do on Thanksgiving Day besides watch movies and stuff your face.
It's a good tradition after a good run to eat some good fuel.
In all, about 1,600 people ran the race this morning. Now, here's something you might not have considered. How do you celebrate Thanksgiving in space? Well, it turns out crew members on the International Space Station got a complete Thanksgiving dinner with all the trimmings, thanks to students at Texas A&M. Tim Wetzel shows us how they make an out-of-this-world holiday meal.
Thanksgiving can be lonely when you're away from loved ones. And you can't get any further away than outer space. Maybe that's why
Patrick matriculated from A&M, he would like everybody to know. But this is really cool. I mean, can you imagine, look, the turkey, the dehydrated turkey.
The astronauts' meals are made here on the
I remember going to OMSI, which is the Oregon Museum of Industry and Science, up in Portland. Okay, so same kind of idea. And they had dehydrated food that you can buy, and I thought, I'm going to get dehydrated ice cream, because you can't ruin ice cream, right? You can ruin ice cream. You can. You can add all the water you want back to it. Nope. Nope. It was an ice cream sandwich that tasted like cardboard.
Those tastes just like simulator, where you take off and land planes.
Yep.
And they had a rope where you could climb across.
Did y'all ever watch Space Camp? The movie Space Camp? It's an old one. I can't even really remember who's in it. Remember Space Camp?
Not that old.
Kate Capshaw's in it. Wait, is it Kate Capshaw?
It's going to be a little bit different for us up here in
80s
space,
was 30 years
try
ago.
to make it as much like home as we can.
American astronauts will share their turkey meals with French and Russian crew members, celebrating the spirit of Thanksgiving more than 200 miles above the Earth.
Well, many of us spent today with our families. The men and women fighting for our freedoms overseas, they didn't get to do that. And while not being able to sit down for today's feast is a downside, our troops are still connecting with those they love.
Obviously I can't wait to FaceTime my family back home.
He sent me a message this morning and, he said, "Happy Thanksgiving, Mom. I love you and I miss you. Can't wait for you to come home." And then he had a hashtag with 48 days on it.
500,000, 400,000 brothers and sisters, and then I have my family at home, so I'm in a pretty good spot.
You're covered this Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So those were troops serving at Camp Swift in Iraq, about 50 miles south of Mosul. And trending today, some special troops made it home just in time for the Thanksgiving holiday. Husband and dad Brent Sanders spent the past 7 months overseas. He planned to return home next week, but after pulling some strings, he surprised his family just in time for Thanksgiving.
Wasn't expecting all this, but it's awesome, just getting back. So it's good to be able to see him.
Wow. How did he get here? There's more than I could ask for. Thank you so much.
I'm just thankful that, I can be back with them.
Oh, thank you for coming back home.
Oh, those will always make you tear up. Sanders was on his 6th deployment of his 19-year career in the Air Force. And we want to know, how did you celebrate this Thanksgiving? What's your favorite thing about the holiday? You can head over to our Facebook page. Let us know. We are live there right now. And be sure to stay with 12 News as we track other stories, including how the president and president-elect spent the Thanksgiving holiday. And
I don't like it. I mean, believe me, I didn't want to kill anybody.
But he did, shooting a 15-year-old boy twice, why police are investigating the case as a hate crime. But first, a clerk at a local hotel where a woman was found dead explains the hours before the victim's death. We'll have the latest.
Live from Southeast Texas, you're watching 12 News Tonight with Vanessa Holmes.
Soldier or service member homecomings, every time.
That is the only
Every
thing my dad
time.
ever cries to. Ever. He doesn't cry for anything else but this.
No, I'm okay. It's just like, you guys couldn't hear it, but this little girl's cupping her dad's face, and she says, "Thank you for coming home." Like, ah!
More moments made possible by compassion.
Let's see what else you guys are talking about.
If you're looking for some
Oh, I'm good.
sausage and boudin,
Danny says he wishes he were doing Black Friday. Christopher, I like your strategy, which is to avoid all stores at all costs. Debbie says, gotta stuff that bird with boudin. It's so much better. I had never thought of that. That would be good, Sherry.
Market Basket. Savor the flavor of our award-winning smokehouse.
Ram says, so many selfish people out there, it makes me want to throw up my turkey and yams. I'm kind of curious what you're talking about. Maybe the Black Friday shoppers? I hope that most of them, I think most of them are shopping for Christmas, for others. But I'm not gonna lie, I know a lot of people pick up a few things for themselves too. Martha,
people have to work on Thanksgiving or something. Maybe you need that.
For details, go to 12
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Martha says she spent time with her family. Sherry says in 5th grade, our science class ate space food from tubes that astronauts from NASA ate in space. It was gross. Things have improved, Sherry, but not that much. We have the turkey noise. Oh, where am I starting?
And as always, get this great offer with 60 months, 0% interest, free same-day delivery, and free haul-off. Remember, folks, if you buy anywhere else, you'll pay too much. Texas Mattress Strip, Calder and I-10 across from the Olive Garden in Beaumont, or Highway 69 behind
Oh,
the
30. Okay, I thought you said 5 a second ago.
moments
Woo!
with Mom in her last months. Thanks to Compassion Hospital.
Okay, I just picked up the 5.
Another grandbaby
That
born.
sounds like hustle.
Another wildflower season.
Why do you
And
want to
she
hear
got
the
see
turkey so many times,
more
Patrick?
moments made possible by Compassion Hospital.
Patrick doesn't like the turkey noise they're playing in our ear. Gio says hello. William, thank you. Joe, happy Thanksgiving to you.
On my text.
And Cloney, gotta do the
Holidays. We are learning new information tonight about the homicide of a woman whose body was found at the La Quinta Inn on Walden Road in Beaumont. 12 News spoke to one of the hotel clerks. She couldn't go on camera, but she tells us the woman was young. The victim checked into the La Quinta around 3 Monday afternoon under an assumed name. According to the clerk, a guest did report hearing a loud voice in the hallway, but no one heard a gunshot. The victim was supposed to check out on Tuesday. Instead, investigators found her body the next morning. They do say there's a strong connection between the victim and Beaumont rapper Ivory Pantaleon III, also known as Ivory P. He's the one who led police on a high-speed chase from Jefferson County to Baytown, where officers shot and killed him. All right, we turn now to a developing story in West Virginia, where police are investigating the shooting of a black teen as a hate crime. Investigators say 62-year-old William Pulliam shot 15-year-old James Means after the teen bumped into him. According to the criminal complaint, Pulliam admitted to shooting Means in the stomach twice.
I felt my life was in danger. I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm 62 years old. I'm not going to take a bunch of punks beating me up.
In the police report, officers quote Pulliam as saying, "The way I look at it, I took another piece of trash off the street." Pulliam says he never said that, and this had nothing to do with race. Well, it's a day of protest in North Dakota, where about 30 opponents of the Dakota Access Oil Pipeline demonstrated in the town of Mandan. That's about 50 miles north from where demonstrators camped out for months to protest the construction of the four-state pipeline. Protests against the pipeline intensified in recent weeks, with total arrests since August rising to more than 520. President-elect Donald Trump is spending Thanksgiving with his family at his Palm Beach estate in Florida, but he's still been working. He tweeted this morning that he is, quote, working hard even on Thanksgiving. He's trying to prevent the Carrier air conditioning company from moving jobs to Mexico. Now, Carrier confirms it has had discussions with the incoming administration, but says there's nothing to announce at this time. The company previously announced plans to move 1,400 jobs to Mexico from Indiana. Meantime, President Obama and his family spent Thanksgiving with friends, family, turkey, and touchdowns, as he put it. He says the country just emerged from, quote, a noisy, passionate, and sometimes divisive campaign season, but he adds the holiday reminds us that no matter our differences, we are still one people, part of something bigger than ourselves. Onlookers at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade say intensive security measures didn't keep them from enjoying the holiday event. The crowds lining the parade route this morning were kept company by New York Police Department helicopters flying overhead, heavily armed officers, and bomb-sniffing dogs. A giant Charlie Brown balloon joined 1,000 clowns and a dozen marching bands along the parade route. And closer to home, HEB's Thanksgiving Day Parade featured 2 local Olympians. Brothers Carl and Keith Huckabee from Port Neches were members of the 1992 U.S. Olympic rink hockey team. And there were lots of other Olympians on hand for this morning's parade. 2016 gold medalists Simone Biles and Simone Manuel served as the grand marshals there.
And we continue to watch the potential for severe weather, which is in the forecast coming up on Monday. Now that you can see the right graphic, we'll talk about that and so much more just ahead on 12 News.
It's morning. Are you awake? Show us. Post your pictures with the hashtag.
That graphic looks very foreboding.
12 News Daybreak, the official show of morning people.
Erica, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for tuning in. Charles, happy Thanksgiving as well. Chloe says, how about them Cowboys? I've been so busy today, I haven't even watched. Do you know how the Cowboys are doing?
They were winning the last I saw. Let me go look real quick.
Yaha.
It's almost like you got a bunch of Cowboy fans.
Jean, you're very welcome. Thank you for tuning in, and happy Thanksgiving to you. What did you say, Ned? I think I start at the podium next. As you can tell, I run around a little bit, especially when Vanessa's not here, because there's no one to balance it out. So I just kind of ping pong all over the studio, which is kind of fun. I didn't get to do the turkey trot this morning, so I'm getting my exercise in after the Thanksgiving dinner. It is Thursday.
But not at Subway, where you
I'm concerned that you asked that.
Wait, say that to the viewers.
Over and the Cowboys supposedly won. I didn't see the score, but I was told. The Cowboys won?
Ruby said Cowboys won. So that's 10-1 this season.
Yeah.
Go Patriots!
So I think Vanessa was saying they've never had a 9-game winning streak, so they certainly win. Yeah. They're making history.
Offering the best medical care.
Go see.
You know that your job is important to you. If you get
See, it's totally the opposite for me. I'm not an Ohio State fan, so I can't really get behind him. He's great, don't get me wrong. But if I have to choose one I'm going to root for, it's probably going to be Dak.
I can't, there's something about Dak that just wrong. Like, I can't.
But he's awesome?
I think that may be it. It's either that or the fact that everyone else loves him.
That's how that works, because everybody else loves Dak Prescott. He doesn't. That's, in case you're wondering, about the mind that puts together the 630. It's a little insight for you right there. Happy Thanksgiving.
Tonight, we're tracking severe weather in Italy, where the, I'm not going to say this right, Tanaro River broke its banks. Is that it? All right. And flooded streets. So this is video from the town of Goresio. You can see the raging waters, the result of heavy rain in the region. The storms are being blamed for damage to houses, shops, cars, though the good news here is no casualties have been reported. And now, fire and ice. You are looking at 2 very different scenes from 2 very different parts of the world. Crews in North Carolina are battling a 900-acre fire that's threatening about 50 homes. The unseasonably warm weather definitely not helping in those efforts. Yet in Japan, Tokyo saw November snowfall for the first time in 54 years, about 7 inches of snowfall around the city. And Patrick, you have another big weather system that you're tracking.
That's exactly right. We'll talk about the Pacific Northwest and what we can expect as we head on into, say, Monday. But right now, it looks like it's going to be quiet weather right on through your holiday weekend. Cool nights, pleasant afternoons, and variable cloud cover. Monday, we're going to have to watch. Could be quite stormy with wind damage possible. And then a cool and wet Wednesday. It's entirely possible we may not be out of the 50s with rain coming up Wednesday. I love that kind of weather. I know a lot of you don't, but Wednesday it looks like a gumbo or a chilly kind of day. Right now it is quiet. We're looking at some high cloudiness moving in from the southwest. I think it's going to be thin enough to where we don't have a problem with temperatures falling back into the upper 40s for most of the area. Then Brandi, if you look up towards the Pacific Northwest, the Cascades and also the Olympics could see a foot of snow. Rainier, Baker, Hood, yeah, some pretty heavy snow. Otherwise, lots of rain over towards the coast of Washington. And what's that little town?
Oh, are you at the Umpqua?
There it is.
Look at that.
No rain in Umpqua. I don't know what I want to say. Oompa, where did I get that? Oompa?
Oh, it takes people a while to learn how to say that.
No, I'm thinking Oompas or whatever.
Oompa Loompa?
Oompa Loompas, that's right. Umpqua, right?
Umpqua.
Umpqua. Okay, no rain there yet. That's Brandi's hometown. We made history this morning, and you thought hurricane season was over with. No, we got a few more days. Otto, still a hurricane with winds of 75 miles an hour. Listen to this, Brandi. Hurricane Otto made landfall this morning with winds of 110 miles an hour, a Cat 2 on the Nicaraguan coastline. It was the furthest south a hurricane has ever hit in Central America since 1851, recorded history. Hurricane season's not over, by the way. Anyway, we're going to watch Otto move into the Pacific. We're only telling you because this is kind of unusual. Not so much this is going to be a threat, but it's going to move across Central America. Now, this has only happened 12 times, 11 or 12 times in history, and be renamed Virgil.
Huh.
So the furthest south, and it's going to get renamed.
He's a rule breaker.
He is. Tonight looks like a chilly night for a lot of us, a great night for fireplace weather. Be careful if you're using space heaters this time of year. Please and thank you. Temperatures tonight will drop into the, I think, into the mid to upper 40s across the area. The models have been atrociously too warm so far this fall season in the mornings. And then tomorrow, I must say, variable cloudiness with a tendency to become mostly cloudy tomorrow. Not expecting any rain across southeast Texas right on through your Saturday and Sunday. And our forecast for tonight, mid to upper 40s. Now, if the clouds are thicker than I think, then, well, we could see temperatures warmer. That blanket would certainly help things. And then for tomorrow, variable cloudiness. We'll see the tendency for clouds to increase. A dry day, high temperatures, lower 70s. Extended forecast. Green bars. We like green bars. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, if we did bars on day 4, which is Monday, we would have a red bar on this. I think there's a possibility of severe weather. Why do we think that this is going to be a possible severe weather event? Here's why. We're going to take you on a balloon trip.
Oh.
This is a fancy graphic we call the forecast sounding. The balloon goes up in the atmosphere. It measures temperatures, it measures humidity, and it also measures winds. Now, if you look over, let's see, this is the ground right here, and then right here is around 2,400 feet. Very close to the surface. We're looking at winds Monday around 60 miles an hour. So if you have thunderstorms and rain that are heavy enough rain, that could drag that 60-mile-per-hour winds down to the ground, and then you start having power outages and wind damage. Now, this is one model. This is very early. It could change, but that's the best information that we have at this point. So it does look like the potential for strong to possibly severe weather and power outages on Monday.
Can I just say how grateful I am to have someone like you explain that to me, because that just looked like
a bunch of fancy lines, right?
Yeah, it looked like a 1980s computer screen.
Well, It's a tool. Beautiful weather Tuesday, and then, oh my goodness, you better get those red beans and rice coming up and ready for Wednesday, because wash out the crock pot and get it ready to go, because it looks like a cool, wet, nasty day coming up on Wednesday with highs on the lower 60s. By, say, Thursday, we're down to 40 degrees in the morning, so a chilly morning.
For sure. For people who are traveling back after the holiday, what does Sunday look like?
Sunday, let's see. I would say across East Texas it looks good, but we're going to be watching that storm system move in from the west towards our area. So late day Sunday may be an issue for some parts of Texas, especially up towards, say, North Texas, Dallas, and that area. Something to watch.
All right, thank you, Patrick. Actually, check this out. A fireball seen across Florida earlier this week. Wait for it.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
How cool is that?
That is.
So this is video from Northport showing the bright light streaking across the sky. Astronomers say it's a baseball-sized meteor that entered the Earth's atmosphere at about 40,000 miles an hour. We'll be right back.
The original contact I had with them was a major surgery.
Did they get to see that, Sherry?
Yes.
So cool. And you think it's just a baseball size, you know, something that big.
Several friends mentioned intrepid.
Anything going at 40,000 miles an hour is going to cause light in a display like that.
I know, but you think about it. Like, doesn't that just make you think about how much friction and energy there is associated with it?
That's not the problem. It's the mountain-sized ones that we have to look at.
Yeah, we don't want a mountain-sized one getting anywhere near us.
If you're looking to earn your four-year college degree, Lamar University is the perfect place to call home.
Carl says Black Friday buy online. Ammunition is on sale.
And an active student life. Plus, LU was ranked by US
online.
World Report as one of the top 10 universities for students graduating with the least amount of debt. So whether
Sorry,
you're
I'm
just
not talking to the voices in my
or
head. I'm talking to
transferring
Matt,
from
the
another
producer,
school,
who's now back in the
find
booth.
what you're looking for here. Enroll today at BeaCardinal.com.
Well, that's the one I'm allowed to talk about. That's the one the doctor says is okay to answer.
Christmas extra magical with a
That is a
beautiful
joke.
diamond ring
That is
from
a joke.
Matthew's
by the way.
Jewelry.
I know. I love that. So
beautiful
my
styles
little tiny
from
hometown,
Natalie Kay
population 112. I'm impressed that you were able to locate it on the map.
Digging and a little bit of
But hurry in. This is a limited time
Like
offer.
where?
And only at Matthew's
So were you the
Jewelry on
only
Strickland
person in your
Drive
class?
In Beaumont's Tuscany Park.
How many people were in your class?
No. Oh, so
I plan on retiring next
I
year.
went to
I'm going to be more of
the
a
Umpqua
family man.
school.
Visit
the
the
first,
kids.
like
My
first
oldest
grade
granddaughter
through fourth grade. Sorry, Matt's running in my ear at the same
I'm
time.
going to do a lot of things.
And it was blended
But there's
classrooms.
one thing I
So first and
should've
second grade were together, third and fourth grade
I
were
should've
together,
had regular
and then in my
checkups.
fifth grade year it shut
I
down
should've
because there
wore
was
the
enough
gown.
kids. In third and fourth grade, the third and fourth grade blended class. It was the largest third and fourth grade class they'd ever had. How many of us do you think there were? 18.
Closed captioning
There were
provided
19.
by Audiology Hearing Aid Associates
19
and
of
Dr.
us.
Susan Hyman.
All right, we want to leave you with a Thanksgiving wish come true for a South Carolina woman. She is celebrating the holiday with her 5-year-old daughter. But just days ago, Melissa Birchmore adopted Geneva after fostering the girl for about 3 years. We have the story on our website, 12newsnow.com. You can read more about it. But Birchmore says she's been a foster mom for more than 14 children. She and Geneva, though, immediately developed a special bond, and a judge made the adoption official on Monday. So that's some really heartwarming news. Now we're just going to tell you something weird on this Thanksgiving evening. It appears computers still have a ways to go before completely replacing humans. A Japanese man won a game of Go against Deep Zen Go. That is the strongest game software in Japan. So this matchup is actually the third time the two faced off. The previous 2 meetings ended in ties. But after 3 hours yesterday, Meijin Cho claimed a victory. The humans win. Cho says since the software keeps improving, it gives him a chance to study more and get stronger at the game. Go is a Chinese game created thousands of years ago. All right, and now it is time for your take. So we've been chatting with you during the show on our Facebook Live. We do every night here at 6:30. You can ask Patrick weather questions. You can comment on the news. And here are a couple of your comments about Black Friday shoppers. Christopher says, my strategy is to avoid all stores at all costs and shop online. Christopher and I have very similar philosophies here. And Sherry had a comment about the Thanksgiving in space story. She says, in 5th grade in the 60s, our science class ate space food from tubes that astronauts from NASA ate in space. It was gross, guess things have improved. And finally, Jean says, thank you for giving part of your day to keep us informed. We so appreciate your comments. We appreciate you joining us on this holiday. Now you can go spend it with your family, eat more turkey. For us, you can have like an extra helping for Patrick and I, because we're stuck here.
You don't like dressing?
I do.
Mashed potatoes over dressing?
No, that was not the question.
Oh, okay.
It was mashed potatoes over sweet potato casserole.
Oh, there's no question. I know the right answer.
Mashed potatoes?
No.